The hair I'm losing.
Okay, well, we are live, Terry. Good afternoon, everyone. We are live with Indie Office Hours, or IPNY Office Hours, as the case may be. We're sponsored in part by the Independent Publishers of New England. We talk about the publishing process as it relates to independent publishers and small book publishers, and authorpreneurs, people with a single book, to up to several, many, dozens. But independent is the watchword. We try and champion that aspect of the market. So we are live every Tuesday at 12. I'm Charlotte Pierce. I run a small press publishing company out of the Boston area called Pierce Press. I have three imprints on that. Children's, a travel, and a alternative education imprint. So we are kind of in the thick of our book shows here in New England. We represent members' books. We're also an affiliate of IBPA, where my guest is from, Terry Nathan. He's the Chief Operating Officer, and he's recently returned from the Frankfurt Book Fair. Today we're talking about foreign rights and international sales. And please, if you have questions, write those down in the YouTube comments or on the Google Plus event page, and we will try and get those answered for you. Okay, Terry, how are you doing? Have you recovered from your jet lag, or did you have any?
I did indeed, yeah. So thank you. Thanks for having me, Charlotte. Sure. It's a pleasure to be here. The Frankfurt Book Fair this year was wonderful. It was great. Got back last week. I am still a little jet lagged, I have to say, but it's a 9-hour time change over there for us. So it's like working in the middle of the night, sort of. From the day you get there, you hit the ground running. But it's an exciting show, and just the adrenaline keeps you going. No question about it.
Yeah, well. I have not ever ventured into that realm, but tell us what IBPA does. I mean, we are an affiliate, one of maybe 24 affiliates of IBPA, I think, and we benefit greatly from that. The synergy is incredible. But tell us what you do for your members and affiliates members.
Okay, sure. So these international shows like Frankfurt they revolve around long-term relationships in a very big way, and we've been going to the Frankfurt Book Fair for I think that was our 27th year this year. I personally have been there 20 times now, and what we do over there is we have a list of people we've met with over that time, and before we go to the show, we reach out to all of our contacts and suggest a time to meet, so that by the time we get to the fair there, we're meeting with agents and publishers and editors and distributors from really all over the world. So what we're doing there is we're displaying, we do two things. We display individual titles for members, and we also organize a collective space of IBPA members that want to come to the show and get their own space on the show floor. So we have about I'd say we have about 30 of our members that come along with us and take space in our collective area. So those are the two things. We're representing the individual titles within our own booth, and then we're also providing the support to put together a nice big collective area.
And what's the relative cost between having your own space through IBPA and being part of a general book exhibit?
Yeah, so it's it's basically the same. We get a little bit of we get a discount because of the amount of space we take. There are different things that we're doing to extend the value, like we're consolidating the shipment of books over to the fair. So we're sending instead of a couple 100 pounds of freight, we're sending 5,000 pounds of freight. So the cost of freight's a lot cheaper. We have people that stay there. This is a long show. It's 5 days, and
it is, yeah.
Yeah. So,
and it's not just German, right? It's all Europe.
That's right. Well, it's actually it's all the world. It's the largest book fair in the world, and there were representatives. I think the last count I met with people from 35 different countries or something like that. So there's certainly a strong presence of European publishers, but we're seeing people from Korea, Japan, Singapore, Malaysia, China, all over the place. Even Nigeria, some different African countries, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, Canada. There's North America. I met with publishers from Brazil, from Colombia. So there are people really from all over the world at this one.
And how does it differ from the London Book Fair? I know that it's more famous to me. I went to the Radcliffe Publishing course, and all you heard about was the Frankfurt Book Fair. But how does it differ from London?
Well, yeah. So Frankfurt's sort of the granddaddy of them all, and it's I don't know what. They're on their 70th year. I don't know how many years they've been going, but I should. The London Fair is a newer show. It does tend to be more Europe-centric, although there are representatives from different parts of the world at London. But it's a much smaller show, and the London Fair is very close to Book Expo. So we actually went to London for about 10 or 12 years, but we stopped going about 5 years ago because BEA is now starting to. There's starting to be international rights deals happening at Book Expo nowadays as that show kind of reshapes itself.
Yeah, I've heard that it's a little bit smaller than it has been. Is that a trend or BEA?
Yeah, it's a sort of a few things. It's BEA was originally the show for bookstores. The number of bookstores in the country is shrinking, so there are fewer bookstores going to the show. The show organizers gave it a permanent home in New York, which I don't agree with. I think that show used to move around the country, which brought only new energy. Not only new energy to the show, but it also would bring different people to the show that could afford to go. So when it went to Los Angeles or Chicago or San Francisco or wherever it may go, you would get to see a lot more of the regional presence there.
Do you see the Frankfurt show? Was it as big as ever?
Well, the Frankfurt show seems to be getting a little bit smaller too, but it's still, it's still a gigantic show. Where Book Expo, the largest show in the U.S., is one building. Frankfurt is 9 or 10 buildings with multiple floors in each building. So it's literally, I don't know, 6 to 10 times larger, if I had to guess, than Book Expo.
Yeah, but. Yeah, I'm just wondering where the trends are going on these. And why would somebody want to, like an independent author with one book, want to go to send their book, and how much would it cost them?
Well, to go to Frankfurt, there are different options. If you go yourself, you certainly have all the costs of flying and staying there, and all the travel costs, along with getting your own space and getting your own booth there, compared to here in the U.S. is quite a bit cheaper, actually. I think our area was about $3,000 for your own space, which is in meters. It's 4 square meters, so it's almost the size of a booth at Book Expo. So $3,000 includes the shipping of your books to the show and also the furniture in the booth. When you do these shows domestically, you have to pay more for furniture and carpeting, all that stuff.
And Wi-Fi. Oh my God! At Neighbor, the Wi-Fi was $500 for wired internet in this exhibition hall.
It's just silly, isn't it? Yeah, it's just I know. So and to do so, that's to get your own space at Frankfurt is about $3,000. But that, most people with one book or two books, they don't need to get a full space like that. So we took books, individual titles there for $185, and that included, the representation for the show, inclusion in a catalog, follow up after the show, and whether you got 50 leads or 100 leads or 0 leads from the show, that's the cost. It wasn't, there wasn't any extra cost.
But the titles would then be in the catalog that goes with people who picked up a catalog, right?
It's not only people who pick up a catalog, but it's we have an electronic version, both a flip view and a PDF version that we send out to not only the people we meet with at the show, but also our entire list of people we've met with over the years, which is about 650 different people.
And how many IVPA members exhibited this year?
There were about 175
wow.
members with titles on display in the cooperative display there.
And do you have any good stories about connections you made for them, or?
Well, there was one book that was getting a lot of interest for some reason, called Clutterology, and Clutterology, it was it's
I need that one.
Yeah, I know. I think we all do. And the cover was really kind of drew people in because it was a kind of a head with a lot of thoughts flying through, and a brain kind of exploding with overload. Yeah. And that drew a lot of interest. So what I saw there, and it's pretty much the same every year. And it's really, when you think about it, it's just like it is at a bookstore or a library. It's people are drawn to books for some reason, and then they will give it a chance. And usually it's that cover that draws people in. And so the covers, the titles also, that the titles that get too clever usually don't work, especially internationally. But
yes, I would think not. Yeah.
Yeah. But that clutter book was one that was really getting a lot of play. And surprisingly, normally fiction and fiction from first-time authors, which is probably one of the largest areas of publishing these days, usually doesn't get much interest internationally. But this year I saw more of it for some reason. I think, and I'm not sure how to explain it. Maybe it has to do with people just wanting a little escape. They want to, rather than learn how to, use some computer program or improve themselves in business or something. They're just wanting escapes or something. That's all I can guess.
And so the people who might come by and say, would this be a bookstore or a publisher who wants to buy the foreign rights, or somebody who wants to distribute it?
What we're meeting, the people we're meeting with over there, there are usually a couple things that happen. The primary one is translation rights. We're trying to sell translation rights. So we meet with a German publisher who's interested in business titles or new age titles. We'll show them all the books we have in that area, and they would be interested in taking the book, translating it, redesigning it for their market, and then paying the author / publisher a royalty. So that's one type of rights. Another type is reprint rights. There are certain parts of the world that are not accustomed to paying $14.95 for a book, or whatever the cost is, so they may need to, like India or some of the some emerging country or something like that. They'll buy the rights. Often they won't redesign it, but they'll just have it reprinted on different paper stock and sell it at what their market will bear. Sometimes there are distribution rights, like for English-speaking areas, maybe in Australia or New Zealand or the UK. You can sell the right to have your book distributed into that area. Now with a lot of books going through the Lightning Source system. Lightning Source is basically establishing, and CreateSpace is the same. They're establishing a worldwide network for a lot of authors and publishers automatically.
So if you distribute your book there, you can just, and it's distributed in the UK, say through Lightning Source. Would you then tell the people visiting the booth that information, or?
Yeah, the people we're meeting with mostly are either publishers or editors from a publishing company. So those people would want to take it into their line. Or we're meeting with agents. The agents we're meeting with represent a number of publishers or a full language. We may meet with a German, a publisher, or an agent that represents publishers in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, or something like that. So the comment I was making about Lightning Source is for English-speaking countries like Australia, New Zealand, UK. Lightning Source and Amazon through their CreateSpace network they're making it easier for authors and publishers to distribute into those areas. The people we're meeting with really wouldn't be interested in the Lightning Source side of things or CreateSpace side of things.
Okay, so they just to adopt it in their own. So to get international sales, if you're on Lightning Source like I am, I did opt into the anything international that I could opt into.
Yeah.
So that's just a matter of that doesn't really have to do with foreign rights or anything like that, unless you get approached independently.
That's right, and you're still faced as a publisher with the challenge of letting that market know about your book. Somehow the people of the UK need to know about your book and go get it. They might stumble across it by doing their own searches, but just like here in the US. But you as a publisher, you've got the responsibility to try to drive people to go get your book.
Yeah. So, I was looking at this Frankfurt Buchmesse, Messe books.
It was a Messe book. That's right.
Messe in German means fair, festival, I think.
Yeah.
Since I was a German major. But it looks like, it looks like, here, I'll share the screen. It's incredible. Where were you in this thing?
Let's see what you've got there. Yeah, we're.
And how do you? Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but
it's not coming across. I don't see the picture too well, but
it says we were in, Hall 5, stand D115.
Right. So we were in Hall 8. Most of the English-speaking countries are located in Hall 8. And as I was saying, there's, I think there are 9 or 10 halls at this. There are actually more halls at the fairgrounds, but 9 or 10 of them have publishers in them doing business. The show itself is, I said it was 5 days. It's the first 3 days are for business to business. So these are the days where we're sitting and meeting with agents and publishers and editors. And then Saturday and Sunday they open the doors to the German public, and it becomes very interesting. The people just absolutely love it. It's great to see. It's exhilarating, really. There aren't as many people going into the English-speaking hall as there are in the German halls, but if you get out and walk around, you'll see all kinds of things. It's people in costumes, people,
it's like a Comic-Con or something.
It's like a Comic-Con, very much so.
That's cool.
Yeah,
so
it was really cool.
And, you could dress up as your character in your book and walk around and.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do the Pedagogy Handbook and I just walk around like a peer.
Yeah.
Oh boy, so that's cool. That's a great. Do any of the authors actually come?
You know, we don't see that many because most of the business we're doing is with the other publishers. So I'm sure there are a lot of German authors there,
Mhm.
and the internationally, I don't think there are many authors doing signings and things like you would see at Book Expo.
Mhm.
Mostly just the local folks.
I'm gonna do a book and come in the costume next year and see what
Yeah.
happens.
Well, do Book Expo. They do. There's a lot of that going
Yeah, I
on.
think we're
There's a
gonna
lot of
make a.
interest.
We're actually trying to pick a date for our own conference, and I had initially ballparked it at or penciled it in as May 29th, but that's when BEA ends.
Yeah, I think that's you should probably steer clear of that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you think is a good date for us for
Well, doesn't IPNI normally do the fall, like October or something like
No,
that?
no, we
No?
have. I mean,
Why
we
do I
may have
think
in the
that?
past, but we've been pretty much like March, April. But now you
Gotcha.
guys have yours in April,
We do, yeah.
Publishing
No,
University,
I
and I
remember
registered. I
going.
registered. I'm going
Oh
to
yeah.
come.
Oh, that's great. We're
I'm
going to
so
be in
psyched. I
Austin.
love Austin, and
Oh,
I'm going to really gear up and get myself
yeah.
informed. So
Well, we're excited because Austin is new for us, and
yeah.
I've
Well,
been
let's do
dying.
some hangouts down there.
Yeah,
We can do
yeah,
some
that,
in the office hours, and this works great. And then there's a video at the end, that you can send out to people. I mean, depends on if you want it live broadcast or recorded after people have gone home. But
yeah.
we could do that for sure. It'd be
Oh
really
yeah.
cool. We could do book signings, or I mean, do you have any book display?
At our publishing university.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we do for the speakers. You know, a lot of the
Mhm.
speakers have their own books, so
Okay, great.
we'll have
Yeah.
a bookstore on site there that
Well, we could
speakers
do
will.
speaker
Yeah,
interviews or something like that.
yeah. Oh
This
yeah,
summer.
there's all kinds of cool people
Yeah,
that.
I
That-
actually put in a proposal for a panel thing.
Okay, good.
So if you guys want to do that, it's fine too. But yeah, so that's April 11th and 12th, and then um,
Yeah, I think it's the
I don't
10th
know
and
what
11th.
else. Do you know of any
It's the
other
10th
book?
and 11th.
10th and 11th? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And but you know the IPNI conference, I do remember going in October once. So maybe and that's
Yeah.
been probably I don't know 7, 8, 9 years ago or something like that. But I thought it was great. I'm trying to think where I want to say we were in New Hampshire that time.
It's possible. I got involved in 2008, and there's probably one. Well, we didn't do a conference for a while, and then we resumed, I think, in 2009 or 10.
And was it in the Boston area or where did you
We
have the
did
last?
one in, well, we had the last two in Southbridge, Mass.
Oh, okay.
Determined is a little bit too out of the way. It's off of I-90, it's just, it's just a little too much out of the way. So we're trying to find another location
Mm.
in maybe Portsmouth, New Hampshire,
Yeah.
or someplace like that. Um, so anyway, and then BEA is the 27th to the 29th.
Yes, that sounds right. Yeah, I would steer clear of that time just because people get a little overloaded around then.
Right.
You know, so if you're trying to get, you know, the fall, the I mean the spring, you know, maybe late April would be better or something.
Mhm.
Get people geared up to go to Book Expo or something.
That's an idea, yeah.
Yeah.
Late April might work. I don't want to get into May, middle of May, kind of like all those graduations and things.
Yes. Yeah, you do bump into a lot of that.
A lot of stuff in May, but
Yes.
yeah. Okay, so you don't think that we would conflict too much in late April with your event?
I don't think so. You know,
I mean,
there's
we're regional too, so it's not like someone's going to go to necessarily there. I hope there will be some people going to Publishing University, but
from up in the Northeast.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there will be, and certainly, you know, there's never too much education, as I
Mm.
would say. You know,
No,
and
we'd love
the
to have you.
programming, yeah, the programming we offer, I think, will be quite a bit different than what IPNI offers at the conference.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
People really love our conference because, as how it is with independent publishers, and you're kind of working by yourself. There's nobody else in my office.
Yeah.
It's nice to go and talk to someone about publishing. And
it really is.
And this is what the Hangouts have been great, because we often get people that are just, on their own, and they come on and they're just tickled to be able to fraternize with other publishers.
Yeah, it's tough to feel like you're out on a deserted island all by yourself there. That's the beauty of all these organizations, either regionally or being part of IBPA. Community is what it's all about, and especially in this day and age, there's so few people getting together anymore in person. It's there's so much power in that. Hopefully,
I have adopted a byline in my company called here, I'll show you. Collaboration is the new competition.
There you go.
That's if you can figure out how to connect with people and make them, when you need somebody in your organization or your publishing effort, make that connection. And those things come about through not only online, but both. And when you meet somebody in real life that you've seen online, it's just magical. It's often just really cool, because they know a little bit about you. They've seen your postings or your emails or your newsletter or something. They meet you, and it all comes together. So.
Yeah, that's really what it's all about, and actually that segues right back into this international publishing. It's these relationships that you build over the years. And the working with international contacts is, that face-to-face is invaluable, that we get at the Frankfurt Book Fair, and people want to do business with people they like, and people that they trust, and that they see face-to-face, and they know that they know that they're going to be working with somebody professional, and that they that they like anyway. So that's what it's all about. Is this
I think that's a good note to go out on. Believe it or not, we're out of time, and I just wanted to mention that we have a discount. IPNI has a discount for an IPNI member can join IBPA for a discount, as with all of your affiliates, right?
That's right, and you can just use the code. You'll see there's a code there. You can just put in IPNI, and you'll get a $30 discount for membership. Yep, that's right.
The offerings of the two organizations are really different enough, so it does pay to have both. IBPA has incredible education program. I think your member benefits package has really taken a leap forward recently. And I know a lot of people who go on into the site and take the webinars and just get, like I need a little education about metadata or something. There's a webinar there for you, and it's something that IPNI can't really offer on a regular basis.
The two groups are really complementary, and I've always had a lot of respect for what IPNI does, and
well, it's the largest geographical affiliate. It's a little difficult, to figure out how to manage it strategically when you have 6 states as opposed to maybe the Bay Area or. It's you guys do have a geographic challenge, but that's part of what makes that part of the country so beautiful too. Yeah, how spread out everything is. We've started doing regional groups. So we have a Metro Boston, and then I went up to New Hampshire, Independent Writers. That was a fantastic event at the Apple Festival, where they have 6,000 people that come to that on that day. Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah. So it was when you start getting out there in real life, and then you reinforce those connections online. It really helps. And so we're going to go up to Maine, and connect with some people up there, and just kind of make a regular circuit. Yeah. And just kind of help people connect to the information they need. So. That's great. Yeah, well, listen, I appreciate your time, and I know it's a little earlier there than it is here, but will you come back on sometime, Terry?
Anytime, Charlotte. Just let me know. I'll be happy to
Oh,
join.
that's great. I mean, it's great to have your expertise. I'm serious. It's nice when you're kind of rattling around by yourself.
Well,
um,
anytime you need anything, or and for
Excellent.
anybody watching too, you certainly can always
Yeah.
send an email, call the office, whatever. We're always here to
Yeah,
help.
I can verify that. They will answer the phone. Often Terry answers the phone. WPA, a national organization, and I don't know how they do it. I don't know how Angela is so responsive. It's
Yeah,
amazing,
yeah.
and it
Well,
is
thank you.
it's very important to my business and to many of us. So thank you again, and we'll close broadcast and see everyone next week at 12 on Tuesday for another publishing topic.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Bye bye.